Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Swami Jyotirmayananda Society, our journey to self realization. Please subscribe for the mystical meanings and to enjoy daily satsang. We are currently exploring the book Advice to Students, authored by Swami Jyotirmayananda Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. We are currently studying how to improve our positive qualities, and we are currently on the quality of how to control anger. When you are young, it seems more fun not to discipline yourself, to let your emotions roll by uncontrolled. But when you get older, all that is undisciplined in your personality is distilled down by the mind, and it becomes so prominent that everything in life triggers a negative response. Naturally, you will often lose your temper, you will have no control over your words, but if you begin to discipline yourself while you are young, this need not happen. Controlling an emotion such as anger is a great art, one that you have to work at day by day. Learn to watch your mind and discipline yourself. Make a resolve. I will not be like everybody else. As I grow, I will become more calm. I have more control over my temper. I will not blow up over little things. Do not allow yourself to be a slave to anger. If you overcome it, you will develop immense mental power. You cannot imagine the power that you will acquire and the peace that will follow. In the Mahabharata, grandfather Bhishma lay on a bed of arrows, giving wonderful teachings to his family and friends, although his body was pierced everywhere by those sharp arrows. Even in that state, his mind was perfectly under control because he had always been such a disciplined personality. When his grandson Yudhishthira asked him for the secret of success in life, Bhishma said that the great secret of success is mastery over your speech. Do not let your speech be harsh, no matter what your situation. Do not excuse your defects. Mahatma Gandhi was able to do great works, yet nobody heard him shouting, nobody saw him in a state of anger. When we are angry, we hurt ourselves and others in three ways: physically, through our violent actions; vocally, through our uncontrolled words; and mentally, through our ill will. In the attempt to control your anger, the first step is to discipline your actions. Do not express anger through your body by throwing things around, banging the phone, or hitting people, banging the door when you leave, etc. You may not be able to stop yourself from saying angry things, but at least you are not being physically violent. As you advance to the next stage of maturity, you do not need to say abusive things either. You have control over your speech. At this stage, you may still be thinking angry thoughts, but at least you are not compelled to verbalize them. When you reach the next stage, you have succeeded in controlling the mind also. And when you have controlled thoughts, words, and actions, you have disciplined yourself perfectly, and negative states such as anger are no longer a problem for you. Control of anger is possible only if you do not allow yourself to harbor resentment within your heart. It is not enough to hold back bitter words. If your heart is filled with bitterness, if you are silently thinking, "This boy has harmed me, I want to tell him to go to hell, but I won't say it," but all my life I'll remember how he harmed me, then your anger is sure to raise its head sooner or later. If you are harboring internal resentment, your mental energy will be depleted. But by spiritual understanding, you can learn to replace anger with true compassion for those who harm you. You develop sympathy for people who cannot control their evil actions, just as you have sympathy for people who have a cold or a cough. Thus, these 10 important aspects of virtuous conduct that were taught by sage Manu must be held as your ideal and practiced according to your capacity day by day. So let's summarize all the virtuous qualities we have been studying over the past few days. Dhriti or firmness, Kshama or forgiveness and forbearance, Dama, control of the senses, Asteya, non stealing, Shaucha, purity of body and mind, Atma Vinigraha, control of the mind, Dhi, purity of intellect, Vidya, knowledge, Satya, truthfulness, Akrodha, absence of anger. So, if you are following these qualities and sincerely attempting to purify yourself, then you are pursuing the path of dharma or ethical righteousness. And since you are pursuing the path of dharma, yours will be the victory. Yato dharma tato jaya. Wherever there is ethic, righteousness, dharma, there is victory. That is the divine law. Not only will you have success in your practical life, but you will attain God realization also. So, what a beautiful list of qualities that we can aspire for. And this is a lifelong journey that we will continue. So, moving on to the next chapter, the joy of sharing. If you have a particular talent, you should be able to use it to help humanity. If you have wealth, you should be able to do good deeds for others. Generosity with whatever you possess rather than selfishness leads to true success. The moment you think, let me secure my own happiness and let everyone else go to the dogs, you actually shut the door to happiness. Miserliness leads to misery. Generosity leads to great joy and prosperity. The more you give, the more you get. That is the divine principle. Let's enjoy the story of the Smokey Buddha. In Tibet, there are certain temples where there are 1,000 statues of Buddhas lined up, and when a worshipper comes, he chooses one particular statue to which to offer flowers and incense. Once there was a Buddhist monk who had come to worship in such a temple, and he had chosen as his deity one of the 1,000 Buddhas. Every day he brought butter filled lamps, incense, and camphor, and he burnt them before his particular deity. Of course, whenever he did so, the fragrance wafted from his deity and traveled to other Buddhas. Observing this, the monk thought, all my hard earned money is being wasted on other Buddhas. My offering should go only to my Buddha. So he thought and thought about what he could do to correct the situation, and he finally came up with the idea of creating a barrier. Then he thought some uh, about a plan. He brought some planks of wood and walled in his Buddha in such a way that the fragrance of the incense no longer traveled to the other statues. Day by day, the monk watched the incense burn only for his Buddha, and now he was happy. But as time passed, he realized his great error. His Buddha became black from the confined smoke, while all the other Buddhas remained bright and clean. This story has a great message for you and me. If you do everything only for your little self, then the Buddha, the self within you, becomes black. But when you share your knowledge and talents generously with others, you grow ever more bright and pure. When you are generous with others, nature continues to supply you with new resources. New talents begin to unfold within your heart. How did great personalities such as Mahatma Gandhi accomplish so much? How did they help so many people? Humility and selflessness were their secret. Once a child came to Mahatma Gandhi and said, please tell me, why do people call you Mahatma or a great soul? And Mahatma Gandhi replied, because I am the littlest in this world. The scholar who pretended to be a coolie Let's see another example, a true story actually. In Bengal, there was once a man named Ishwar Chandra who was renowned for his many talents and great scholarship. Because of his abilities, Vidya Sagar was the name given to him, which means the ocean of knowledge, and it was added to him. He was then known as Ishwara Chandra Vidya Sagar. Once this renowned scholar traveling by train to Calcutta, he arrived there at the station and he saw an English lady standing there with a huge box. She started crying out, "Kuli, Kuli," or when you ask for porters in India, you say Kuli. So, hoping to find a man to carry it, but there was no Kuli around, nobody to help her. Seeing her predicament, Ishwar Chandra said, "I'm here to help you." Thinking he was a Kuli, the lady gave him a big box and all her other things, and he carried them to the horse driven carriage, also known as a tanga. When she sat down in the tanga, the carriage, she reached out her for her purse, intending to give him money. At that moment, she realized that he was the famous Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. He refused to take the money. Simply selfless help. As this story illustrates, doing humble or menial tasks for your own good is for the good of others does not mean that you become small or less. In fact, you grow higher, you become more loved by everyone. Rather, whenever your ego becomes little, you become greater. Greatness lies in selflessness, in sharing yourself generously with others, in living to bring delight to others. So, with this, we conclude our satsang for today, and we will dive into the chapter of importance of good manners in tomorrow's satsang. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Hari Om.